Hey everybody. Um, as you know, the way I look is not always a top priority in these videos, so I apologize for the appearance. Anyway, so today I'm going to do a studio session. I'm going to start with 3 lights, go down to 2 lights, and then go down to 1 light. And you know, it's amazing to me that, you know, like I do have to use the big heavy lights for the commercial shoots, for the clothing and so forth. And, you know, the lighting has to be, you know, this way for one company and this way for another company. But I just wanted to take, you know, a subject, lights, you know, add some, subtract some. And, you know, when it comes down to it, be using one speed light, one little box with a grid on it, like inexpensive, and a reflector. And the reason I want to do that is just to say, like, you just don't need that much stuff. You really don't. Like, the window light helps in some cases, but in many of the cases when I shoot, I'm pretty much wiping out the window light with an f-stop and a higher shutter speed, and, you know. But, you know, I just wanted to see the process, and, you know, it is scattered. I don't go by any rules whatsoever. I just shoot, I move the stuff around, and if it looks good, I'm happy. And a lot of times I don't move it around, and I make the model move around because I want to get something that I wouldn't have gotten normally. You know, everybody says, you know, you have to master the light, and you have to be a master of light. And I think the correct term is you have to be a master of shadows. Because without shadows, photos don't have any depth. And a lot of the lookbooks I do, they want straight images, even lighting, good depth of field, boring. But it shows off their clothes. So it's not boring to them because, you know, their clothes are the exciting part for the lookbook. And a lookbook is just used for, you know, buyers and retailers to be able to see what the company's offering for the next season. And that's how they purchase and or get their, you know, head start on how they're going to purchase. But, you know, for a more art type session, or a more, you know, fashion session, if you will, which, you know, I'm not a fashion photographer, but a more portrait session, whatever you want to call it, you know, contemporary portrait, how's that? You want shadows in your photos. You want to challenge yourself to put shadows in your photos and control the shadows, because that's what's going to give your image depth and meaning. I said this before in one of my videos. I was watching a YouTuber, and she was explaining, she was giving lessons on shooting outdoors, and she said, you know, you put your hand up and you turn and turn and turn, and when there's no shadows, that's the perfect lighting. And I just kept thinking to myself, it's just the worst lighting you can possibly get is flat lighting. But just my opinion. And again, I shoot with flat lighting all the time because I have to for some clients. But, you know, if you're shooting for something that's artistic and you want style to it, you want some shadows. So master your shadows versus your lighting. When I was young, I mean, I would look at an image and I would spend hours trying to get rid of every little shadow on the face. You know, I'll never forget that, because I thought, oh my God, that's, you know, there's a shadow on their face. It's horrible. I got to get rid of it. It was a, wow. I was OCD about it. And now, you know, and breaking myself out of that routine was hard, you know, because you have this preconceived ideas, or you have ideas that other people have told you, or you see other photos, and everything is like clicked into your brain going, this is how it has to be, or can't be any other way. So, you know, with this little light, when I get down to the end, my favorite photos were with one light, with harsh shadows, with different shadows. With shadows that aren't in the rule book. It's what I like. It gives it depth, it gives it some kind of meaning. I don't know, puts feeling into it for me. Anyway, enjoy the shoot. I'll try not to talk too much through it. I don't put music on my videos, so, you know, play the radio. Anyway, enjoy. And if you have any questions, put them below. Thanks. Okay. So we had to start off this. Okay, so I'm using 3 lights. I have one behind camera there that you can't see. A hair light, you know, that's that larger grid light, and then the backlight to light up the background. And she had to do a hair flip one in this one, and yeah, it was a fail. We tried different positions and so forth, but I don't know, I just couldn't get it this day, and she couldn't get it, and the face wasn't right. We got one halfway decent one, but that's it. So backlight, lighting up the, just that speed light is lighting up the white backdrop to give you a white backdrop. The grid light is just a hair light and, like a little kicker to her side just to separate her even, just a little bit more. I wanted it, white because of the dress that she had on. And then the main light is obviously your main light. And that's over to the right of me, facing the model. But we had fun with the shoot. It was just a fun shoot. I said, come in and we're going to try, one light, two light, three lights. That's it. That was the shot, and I absolutely hated it. It's just not a good profile for her. So here's the three lights, and the lighting is kind of flat. Like, yeah, it's a nice light, and it looks fine, but it's flat. Same here. It's just like, okay, it's just a boring photo. So obviously, change up the lights if you're not liking what you're seeing. So I'm getting rid of the two main lights, the hair light and the main light, and I'm just going to use one light, the small softbox on the grid, to give some kind of shadow, some kind of depth to the photos. And like I said before, play. This is so easy if you just play with it. Put your flash on manual. If it doesn't look good, change it. And you see the depth in this photo? It's just so much better with the depth and, we had to do 2 shirts for a store, or 3 shirts, I think it was, but I only have 2 on here. But we just had fun with it. They wanted something, her in men's shirts. They sell more of them when they show them on a woman, so they pay me well for it, so I'm happy to do it. And whatever model I have, on that day, that's the model I use. But yeah, men buy that shirt more when they see that. Posing. Okay, so like that is a horrible pose. Lighting is okay. I went up to 2 lights for this, but the pose is absolutely horrible. So stop and change it. Now added in a reflector, for this. The backlight's just a hair light. The front light is the main light. Reflectors fill in the shadows a little bit. I still have the grid on, but change the posing. Don't keep going and hoping for the best. And when you're posing a model, tell them what you're doing so they can do it themselves. Like, I won't pose a model like a Barbie. Excuse me. Like in this photo here. So I'm explaining to her how we're doing these things, why we're doing these things. So with this dress, I want the leg crossover. I want the left one crossed over because the lights coming from the right. I literally have 2 lights going on this one because the top corner there, you see the same softbox with a grid as a main light, and then I have the other light with a grid, the little speed light with a grid, just to give that kick of light in her face. Okay, so when I'm explaining this to her, I'm saying, hey, listen, if you cross over this leg, it's going to give you a shadow and it's going to show the lines better. That last photo was horrible. Change up the posing. This is why we're doing it. Just a little bit of a change. Tell them why they're doing it, and the shadowing is going to create images that you'll love. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the shoot, and I'll talk to you soon.